Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are over a month into summer now, but it's never too late to plan that getaway. It's really essential if you can do it, right? Joining me now is CBS travel editor Peter Greenberg with his pans and picks for the week. Hey, Peter, welcome back. Thanks so much for joining us. And where are you right now?
Well, speaking about getaways, I'm trying to get home.
Ooh.
I'm actually at the Rome airport in Italy. Of course, we were surviving the meltdown on the software systems last week, where I was stranded in Amsterdam. My bag is still there, by the way. Then we were in Sicily shooting one of my television shows when Mount Etna erupted at about 4 yesterday morning and covered the airport in Catania with nothing but black volcanic ash, closing the airport, grounding all flights. You ready for planes, trains, and automobiles? I rented a car, drove 11 and a half hours to Rome, took a ferry along the way, and here I am hoping to get home on a flight to New York in about an hour and a half. I'm just like everybody else out there who got stranded last week.
Wow, that is crazy. I don't know. I must have been living under a volcanic rock. I didn't even hear about Mount Etna. So that's crazy. Now, I know, speaking of, you know, the cyber, the online issue last week, et cetera, with CyberStrike, I think it was, the Department of Transportation is now investigating Delta Airlines for how it handled that global tech outage that canceled thousands and thousands of flights around the world. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is reminding travelers they're eligible for immediate refunds and not just travel credits. So is it really that simple?
Well, it's that simple and that direct, because remember, let's go back to the pandemic when airlines were not playing straight. Many of them were not, and steering people for travel vouchers that expired or travel credits they couldn't use, as opposed to giving them full refunds. In a situation like this, the argument from the airlines is that the software meltdown was not under their control. The DOT begs to differ. It is under their control because they're the ones who subscribed to that software with no backup systems. And so what the Secretary of Transportation is reminding them is that giving away people, you know, in terms of compensation, frequent flyer miles, which they can't redeem, or vouchers and credits for flights they'll never get on, is not going to take the place of what they're required to do, give full and immediate refunds. And that's part of what the DOT investigation on Delta is all about.
So just to clarify for some people, how do you get those refunds? Like, you know, do you have to go online and apply for them, or should it be automatic?
It should be automatic, but you know what? People calling Delta right now can be put on hold as much as 6 or 7 hours. So you might want to wait. Look, the refunds are not going to go anywhere. Don't worry about it. Wait 2 or 3 more days and call and say, look, here's my reservation number. Here's the flight you canceled. I need a full and immediate refund back to my original form of purchase. Thank you very much. And then ask them to email you confirmation of that refund.
Wow, not cutting them any slack for sure. Okay, now last week's shenanigans, for lack of a better word, aside, what grade would you give top airlines this summer outside of that meltdown? You know, were they doing better?
Well, here's the problem. They're not properly staffed again. I mean, how many bags are not being connected with their passengers right now? We're talking thousands. I'm one of them. And, you know, I have a bag tracker. I actually was able to tell the airline 6 days ago where my bag was. And I was able to tell them, hey, send it to point B, which was New York, which is where I'm heading. Nope, they sent it to Amsterdam. It's still there. We call them every day to say, guys, someone take responsibility, move that bag onto a plane and fly it to New York. I'm going to beat the bag to New York. I'm leaving in 2 hours. I may not see that bag for another week. They don't have the staff to do it. Excuse the airport announcement here. But
I hope
the
it
bottom
pertains
line
to you.
is,
Yeah.
if they don't do the baggage right, you have rights as well in terms of compensation for things you need to buy because they're no longer with you. That's clothing and toiletries and other essentials. Just keep receipts and make sure you have those receipts and copies of them to be able to submit, because it's an airline responsibility here anytime your bag goes, you know, more than 24 hours.
Okay, good to know. And what about the FAA, by the way? CBS reports the country's still down 3,000 air traffic controllers. What grade would you give the FAA in general?
I haven't been giving them a good grade for a long time because you have air traffic control centers in America that are under 85% staffing thresholds and controllers working mandatory overtime. It is the one job you don't want anybody to work overtime, and this has got to be resolved. Now, in fairness, the new FAA reauthorization bill, which was passed earlier this year, gives the FAA the ability and the financing to hire new air traffic controllers. But this is not an earn while you learn program. There's a good 2.5 to 3 year learning curve before they'll let any of these controllers sit at a console by themselves and manage airplanes. So we're not out of the woods yet.
All right, you wrote on petergreenberg.com that it's not just travel season, it is pickpocket season. So what advice if you're traveling in Europe or really anywhere?
Well, ironically, one of the big pickpocket destinations is where I am right now in Rome. Europe is the heart of pickpockets. Listen, you don't have to carry everything in one pocket, number one. Number two, a lot of people like to wear money belts. But what I do is I buy cargo pants that have zippers and then pockets inside with zippers. That'll do the trick as well.
All right, Peter Greenberg, thanks so much, CBS travel editor and our good friend of the stream, of course. Thank you for joining us, and good luck getting to your next destination there.
I'll do my best, and hopefully I'll see my bag sometime in the next year.
Oh, I really hope so.